Toastmasters, potential Toastmasters. I don't know if any of you have the same type of problem that I do, but I find it very difficult to walk into a room and just naturally engage people in conversation. There are some people who just can fluidly do that. It's like nothing for them. They can easily meet people everywhere, and I have a couple of those people in my life. The first person was my dad. My dad was what we would call a super connector. He was in sales, he knew people all over the province of Saskatchewan. I was born in Saskatchewan, and as little girls, my sister and I, for fun on a Saturday afternoon, would get to go with Dad on sales calls to gas stations for Imperial Oil. And my dad taught us the importance of a handshake and a good introduction. So that's where my world started. And it still was really difficult, no matter how much my dad modeled this for me, it still was really difficult for me to get to know people. And then my son was born. My son Dennis is what we would call an ultra super connector. And I wouldn't even be surprised if some of you in this room know him. If you have ever driven up to Costco on a Saturday afternoon and on the corner of the street seen the sign guy singing to his heart's content, or perhaps you've seen him on the news, or perhaps you've seen his write-up in the newspaper on his celebrity status, that's my son Dennis, also known as the Final Dad. Dennis was born with Down syndrome, and the only reason I tell you that is because I believe that part of that led him to learn people. He didn't speak until he was 3.5, 4 years old, so you have to do a lot with an engaging smile. And he worked that really, really well. He was small for his age, so wherever we went, people would engage him, and he would smile his toothless smile, and people just loved him. And so by the time he got to the point where he could talk, he realized, I got something here. Along with Down syndrome, there is an additional chromosome, and I do believe that that additional chromosome for him has been injected with little excerpts from Dale Carnegie's book, How to Make Friends and Influence People, because he's just a natural. And there's a few points that I want to make to you about the things that Dennis has modeled for me, and you'll find them in leadership books all over the place, but he just knows them. One of the first things is that you should always engage people. There's never a moment in time where it isn't a good time for a conversation. So when he was really little, the grocery store was the perfect place. We would be standing in line in the grocery store, and he would turn to the person beside us and go, hello, my name is Dennis, and this is my mom. We met people every grocery store in town. I've met people everywhere. So you shouldn't think too much about when to start a conversation. Any time is a good time for a conversation. The next thing that he knows is never be afraid to engage a stranger. That means if someone has purple hair, tattoos, anything, you name it, there's something that that person is portraying, then you shouldn't be afraid of it. You should embrace it. You should walk up to that person and say, that's a fabulous haircut you have. I love it. You know, talk about these things. Look for things that you might have in common. And he did that one day when he went on a school trip to Government House. At the time, Iona Campanola was the lieutenant governor, and she saw this school group of children, and so she came out and she went down the line introducing herself person by person and saying, hello, I'm the lieutenant governor, Iona Campanola. And when she got to Dennis, what did he say? Hello, my name is Dennis, and I'm the emperor. I suspect at Government House over dinner, there might have been a little bit of conversation. He's not intimidated to go up and speak to people either. He went to Rifflandia, and one of his favorite musicians is Jesse Roper. And so after Jesse was done performing, he says to Dad, going to talk to Jesse Roper. And he flies up there and says to Jesse Roper, I love your music. I've seen you at the Saanich Fair. You're just the best. And Jesse Roper goes to him, I know you. You're the Fido guy. It's the famous meeting the famous, which is fabulous. I don't know if I'm ever going to really feel super comfortable with meeting people, and I have the opportunity to drag Dennis along with me whenever I can, and he just makes sure I get well connected. But I'd like to remind you about the things that he's taught me. Don't be afraid to engage people. Look for connections wherever you can, and pick out something about that person that you have in common. And if you can do that, then you will have learned how to meet people. Dennis.